All right, now that we have had the opportunity to get some practice looking at an example together, I want to look at an example that's a little bit more tricky. So we've got here, use d equals -2 to create d minus 4 all divided by 2 equal to -3. Now this one's a little bit tougher because order of operations tells us that we need to divide before we can add or subtract. However, because we have this equal sign right here, or this, fraction bar, it's telling us that we are treating this as if we have parentheses here. And as we know, order of operations tells us we need to use parentheses first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by writing down my original equation. And I am going to, by order of operations according to what we need to do, because of those parentheses, I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. And I did write it underneath just because my equal sign was there. So I'm going to write down that I'm going to subtract 4 on each side, because order of operations tells us we need to do though. So, and then we're going to simplify, giving us d minus 4 is equal to -6. So then when I look here, I still have this divide by 2 that's right here. So what I am going to do now is, by order of operations, I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. And if you want to use a division sign instead of the fraction bar, that is fine with me. But I'm going to write divide by 2 on both sides. And then I will once again simplify. D minus 4 all over 2 I cannot do anything with, so I'm just going to rewrite that. And -6 divided by 2 is -3, which if we look right here, I've got that exact same equation. So I'm going to put a little check mark, letting myself know that I have done what I needed to do. So now, let's take a look at this next example. Use h equals 10 to create -2 times the quantity h minus 5 equal to -10. Now, one of the things that you will notice is that, once again, we have parentheses. Now before we had divide, now we have multiply outside the parentheses. As a result, we still need to focus on this h minus 5 first. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start with my h, and I'm going to subtract 5 from it, because that's what's in parentheses. So if we did order of operations, that would need to go first. However, if I do that, I need to take my 10 on the other side and subtract 5 as well. So I'm going to write down subtract 5 on both sides. So then when I do that, I get, when I simplify, I get h minus 5 equals 5. Now the only thing that's left is that times -2. So to make it look like our original expression, I'm going to throw in my parentheses, and I'm going to multiply by -2, multiply by -2, and right over here, multiply by -2, once again, on both sides. And when I simplify, I cannot do anything over here, so I leave -2 times the quantity h minus 5 equal to -10, which is exactly what I have when I look down here. Now, remember, those parentheses are necessary because otherwise I am just multiplying the h by -2 and not the whole expression. So let's take a look at one last example as a group. The expression here is use g equal to 12 to create g over 4 plus 3 equal to 7. So now here, we've been doing the adding and subtracting first originally, but on this one, we need to do the multiplication and division first because there are no parentheses and because this fraction bar here is only with the g divided by 4 and not with the plus 3. So we start off and we say, first I'm going to take g and I'm going to divide by 4. This time I will use the division sign because I know some of you prefer that. And then I have to make sure that I divide by 4 once again on both sides. So I will write over here, divide by 4 on both sides. Now I know the question that's probably coming up by now is, do we have to write down our explanation of what we're going to do as we do it? And the answer is yes. Yes, you need to write that down because you need to make sure that you can explain yourself. So that way if you get stuck, I know how I can help you. So when I simplify, now I'm going to rewrite it so it looks like the original equation. G over 4 equals 12 divided by 4, which is 3. Now, what we're running into here is that we now need to add 3 on both sides. So if I do that, I get g over 4, I'm going to add the 3 on this side, I'm going to add the 3 on this side. And I bet you're seeing right now that when you take g divided by 4 and you add 3 to it, you're not getting 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to call a little oopsie on my part. We're going to change this 7 to be 6 because it shouldn't have been 12 divided by 4. It probably should have been 12 divided by 3 plus 3 to equal 7. So as a result, we're going to change it to 6 to make it work out for us. And then when we add 3 plus 3, we do get 6. I apologize for that mistake. Please make that change in your notes. So I want to make sure that I add here plus 3 on both sides. So once we've got that done, now the only thing that's left for you is I have a problem here that I want you to complete and bring to class tomorrow using b equals 4 to create 3b minus 7 equal to 5. And don't forget to write your summary.